Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Governor, for hosting this conversation. We came together, and there are Democrats and Republicans in the room, but we're not here as Democrats and Republicans. We're here as New Yorkers and Americans who are concerned about the tenor and the rhetoric and what has occurred. I knew Melissa Hortman. I had met her, shared and talked about some of the things that were going on in Minnesota and how they were very similar in New York, even though we had different positions. And when I learned of her assassination, it was a gut punch. But it was also a gut punch to me when there was the assassination attempt on President Trump, knowing the impact that could have on our country, as well as the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And we need to come together, and that's why I'm very thankful that the governor is hosting this discussion, to remind everybody that in a democratic society, we can have differences of opinion. It's important to have differences of opinion. The people in this room and those that are online don't agree on everything when it comes to policy, but we can do it in such a manner where it does not become a blood sport, where people feel like they have to take that next step. Political violence is never acceptable in a democratic republic. If you were upset about the murder of Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, you should be upset about the murder of Charlie Kirk. If you were upset about the murder of Charlie Kirk, you should be upset about the murder of Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. There's no difference. Murder is murder. Political violence is terrible. I've been subject to death threats. Thankfully, nothing has ever occurred of it, but people were held responsible for their actions and the threats that were made. And we need to remind everybody that the individuals who are serving our community are doing it because they're trying to create a better community for all. We don't always have to agree on the policy, but we can work together, regardless of political affiliations, to create better cities, towns, counties, states, and country. And so I want to thank the governor for hosting this event and bringing us together, and also speaking to our fellow New Yorkers and Americans that when we work together, we accomplish so much more. The divisiveness that we see in our country is something that we will remember for the rest of our lives. And if last week's act is the last act of political violence that we see during our lives, then we will all have accomplished something by reminding everybody we all have a role in our country as citizens, and that is to play an active role in our democracy, not through violence, but through speaking up and letting the elected officials know where they stand on issues and where you stand on issues. Criticism is okay. It's embedded in the First Amendment right of free speech. We always understand as elected officials, we will be criticized sometimes for our actions, but that is where it must stop. It can't go to the next level. So thank you, Governor, for hosting this conversation.